Hello, welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. We are here to talk all sorts of things. I don't know what all we're going to get into. I just sent Steve the stream link, so he's going to jump in here. We got, obviously, college football playoff tonight. Indiana and Oregon should be a great game. Coming off last night, had Miami moneyline tied with the Rams moneyline, so we have a nice ticket on the Rams for tomorrow. Also had Malachi Tony to score a touchdown. He did do that. So I think that was an absolutely awesome game, to be honest with you. Really could have gone either way. Miami definitely won it more than a team losing it, I would say. I thought that was a great game. And I think tonight's going to be a good game too, honestly. I do not have a lean, though. I think I still feel like I did yesterday, which is I think Indiana wins, but I think it's going to be really close. I could see Oregon covering this one, the 3.5 anyways. I could see a 2 or 3 point win. For Indiana. Oregon played them really tight when they played earlier this season. And I think that this version of Oregon is better than that one. But Indiana's been playing great football too. So it should be a good game. I just think it's going to be a close one down to the wire, at least from like a viewing perspective. I hope it is. So I'm not going to have a side bet, I don't think. If I were to take a side, I would lean towards Oregon. You could try and thread the needle a little bit maybe and take Oregon, plus I think if you did like 7.5 and then Indiana money line, that'd probably pay like 2-1. Or you could get up to like 5 or 6-1 if you did the 3.5 in the money line. But I think Steve is in here now, so let's bring him in. Steve, it has been quite some time since you've been on the stream. So how are you doing? How was your holiday season? What's been going on?
Good. Yeah, thanks. Glad to be back. Yeah, not much. I'm sure just like everyone else, holidays was really busy. I had some work commitments, vacation mixed in there. It was a wedding in San Francisco. It's been busy. I'm glad to be kind of back into the routine. I'm glad it's 2026, new year, rocking and rolling. And we're heading into a really fun time in sports. There's lots of playoffs starting.
Yeah, obviously NFL starts up tomorrow. We're getting down to the wire in college football with the second semifinal game tonight. And then, when is like the halfway point for hockey? I know basketball, it's in like another month from now. I would assume hockey's probably close to that, but they also have to break for the Olympics, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, like traditionally, I think it's like 50 games in is around the All-Star break, which is when the Olympics are kind of scheduled, coincidentally. And so, yeah, I think we're already at. I don't have to pull up the stats, which I guess I could probably do really quickly. We're already at we're at 32 games in the NBA because I just got those stats up. So we're probably at 40 in NHL, and there's some interesting storylines kind of emerging at this point in the season. So we can talk about them if you want.
Yeah, is there anything that you want to talk about specifically, I guess? Because it's been, obviously we had holidays and stuff, but you had stuff going on prior to that. So it's been quite some time since you've been on the stream. I think it's been like a month. So if anything jumps out to you.
Maybe even more, like 5 weeks. Because
yeah, it might be
I was in San Fran 4 weeks ago, this week in December. So it's been a while. Yeah, I think the big thing, or did we have one? Maybe I was in there for one. Maybe I forgot. It might have been 1 week after San Fran. But I want to talk about the NFL games. I want to talk a little bit about NBA, and I posted on our Discord that I thought it was a little interesting when I went and looked at the 2026 player rankings. There's some surprising names on there for me. And then Yeah, we can talk hockey if people want to talk hockey. I know Caleb talks hockey on Mondays, so
Mitchell. So Mitchell, remind me what your ticket is. I know Mitchell has a ticket on the Hurricanes, I think, to win the national title.
mm,
So let me know what that is. Um, I've seen a lot of people have big tickets on the
yeah.
Hurricanes. They were hanging a big number on them a while back because it was pretty unclear whether or not they would even get into the playoff. And looking back, I feel dumb for not taking that, to be honest, because I really liked Miami early on in the season, but they just did their normal Miami thing of just losing to bad teams that they shouldn't lose to. And when you play in the ACC as opposed to the SEC or the Big Ten, it's a little bit harder, to get in if you have those losses. Like they're less forgiving, I feel like, towards the ACC than the other thing. But yeah, remind me what your ticket is. And yeah, we could definitely talk NBA because I haven't talked a ton of NBA. On the stream, like kind of just been waiting for the end of football. But I think there's some really interesting stuff going on in the NBA right now. So I'm curious kind of what you have to talk about there.
I'm curious what I want to talk about NBA.
Yeah, just like
Just
kind of your
well,
thoughts on the players that you were
so
bringing
yeah,
up there.
well maybe I'll share my screen. I'll show you because I was in. Yeah, it's funny how sports works in my mind. Is I end up having a lot of seasonality. Like I don't really care about NBA at all at the start of the season. To be honest, I watch a lot of hockey. I care about it because it's my primary sport, but I still don't follow it as closely at the start of the year as we lost Ben. As I don't follow it as closely at the start of the year as I do kind of later once football's done.
I hit a button on my mouse and it kicked
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there goes Ben. I was like, I'll just keep talking.
Back.
I'll keep talking to myself. The show will
Yeah.
go on. Chat was listening.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing about StreamYard. I do think it affects the X things. I think it has to redo that, but
I did forget to do that.
but you do stay live whenever if I leave because the room is still active. So yeah,
nice.
I accidentally clicked the back button on my mouse there, but
the how do I do this? Okay, so where was I? I was kind of saying that NBA I start kind of tuning in this time of year as football starts winding down. So I went in and I did my regular refresh on the player ranking data space. And part of it I was coming in to see where some of the stars. So, how are some of these players doing? Like have they emerged as I have not been paying attention or watching? And there was a couple that like popped off the page right off the hop. So for those that were viewing last year, huge SGA fan. He's Canadian. I just love his style of play. He's great. Well, that's definitely a good.
Wow, Mitchell.
Good
Wait,
ticket.
Mitchell. What's the what? How much do you have on that? I want to know the payout. If you can post that.
But the couple that I wanted to kind of throw out there's a few that I'm super surprised about. So Scotty Barnes being number 2. I knew that he was having a good season.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that he was having, a court based on, the player ranking data space we built last year, that he's having essentially a number 2 player of the year season so far. And it explains why the Raptors are doing well. But I just didn't know that he was that dominant this year.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, you can't just apples to apples compare to baseball, but I would say the Raptors are very similar to the Blue Jays to where there was pretty much no expectations on them coming into the season. And then now we kind of find ourselves a couple months into the season and they're hanging around there 23-15, 4th overall in the Eastern Conference right now. I do not think that was expected, previous to the season.
It definitely wasn't. And I was doing this earlier. I thought this was kind of interesting as well. There's really no surprise, obviously, the team. I was a bit surprised that RJ, I know he's been injured, was kind of fallen that low. I also, was quite shocked at how low Grady Dick is, considering what they were kind of saying about him. He's been around for a few years now. The team is good, but he's not really contributing like I think they had originally planned. But they're getting, great play and superstar play from Scotty Barnes. And the crazy about Scotty Barnes, 19 points a game. So he's
Yeah,
doing all the other things.
he definitely contributes across the board more than just, offensively, I would say. Former San Antonio Spur great Mamu on there. Yeah, former DFS. If you played NBA DFS for a while, for a few years when he was on the Spurs, when you would get, their center out, you would plug him into the DFS streets.
Yeah. Well, even like Rudy Gobert's on there. Like, I know that he gets kind of extra attention because of the type of role that he plays, and that's probably overweighted in this model compared to all the other players. But if you say that that's an important part about winning basketball, like Rudy's right up there, which I was shocked by. So a lot of other names I'm not overly surprised by. I'm sure you probably got a few on there, but the one that I was most curious about is where Cooper Flagg would fall in his first season. And I was kind of shocked to see him above Wembanyama, partially because this model does favor kind of centers and the roles that they play because of the rebounding and defensive side of the ball. I was pleasantly surprised. I was kind of surprised that Cooper Flagg was that high on the list.
Yeah, he's he had a rough couple weeks to start the season, but he's played very, very well ever since then. And I know we haven't gone on, with Jeremy, but that has directly impacted his card price. And I have seen that firsthand. Like, people are going crazy over the Cooper Flagg cards.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the other way, like his first few weeks they were down, be a big buy opportunity.
Now, because the tops, I don't know. I'm not as super familiar with sports cards as I am other stuff, but I know they printed a lot of this tops basketball set.
Yeah.
And I know it's been doing really well. Like, people are definitely chasing the big Cooper Flagg cards. Like, even though they've printed it a lot, like, it's still the boxes are expensive to buy if you can't get them on the retail shelves. Like, people are chasing those Flagg cards for sure.
Yeah, they probably want like the inserts, so you can get all the regular ones. Like, I don't know what the equivalent is in NBA, but like the young guns.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like one of ones that haven't been pulled to, like, that we're looking for and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always surprised that NFL sports trading cards aren't higher. Like, they're like, they do well, but it's not the same. But like NBA, NHL, like proportionally, like people just chase cards.
Yeah, from my understanding, the boxes, like if you're looking to resell the boxes of cards, like the optic boxes, like blasters and stuff and mega boxes, the football ones do the best in terms of like your margin of like, or what they resell for. Like, it's always expensive to buy those. But I feel like it's really only the quarterbacks that you can make money on, like the younger quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then I guess like if you pull like a downtown, whatever, Justin Jefferson or whatever, I'm sure those go for a lot. But those are hard to pull, obviously. But it seems like the quarterbacks are really where the money is.
And I'm saying it more proportionally, like considering how big NFL is. Like, I'm sure everyone saw on TikTok, if you guys aren't, I think it's called Sports Ball, the account, and they do these like kind of illustration of sports statistics, and they were talking about just the dominance of viewership. And of the 100 most viewed nights last year in 2025, 83 were owned by NFL. And then you look at sports cards. There's cards that do really well, huge audience, huge community collecting. But like NBA, like people chasing the LeBrons, the Kobe Jordan, like all those triple man, like we all watch that on Netflix. I'm not surprised that, if Cooper Flagg is this high on the list during his rookie season, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, and there's other good rookies too. Obviously, like VJ Edgecombe comes to mind, and there's been some others as well that are having good seasons. But Cooper Flag, I definitely think has been a success. Like probably honestly overperformed what they thought of him initially, even being a number one pick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You haven't heard. I think that maybe he was a bit implicated because of the trade, and then winning first overall, and everyone accusing the NBA of being scripted. But you didn't really hear much as much kind of hype as you have in some picks in the past.
Yeah, I do find that interesting. I'm trying to look at rookie of the year odds other than Cooper Flag, obviously, who's a massive favorite. Yeah, you have Edge come up there. Yeah, Derek Queen has played very well at times for the Pelicans. Con Knipple's been great for the Hornets. So there's a couple really good rookies. I think it's I D D E R I. Yeah, there you go. And then Con Knipple has been good. It's KON. There you go.
Yeah,
So
that's a spelling.
yeah, he has like I think he has like 5 or 6 brothers too, and they're all K names. And then
Oh wow.
I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so definitely an interesting rookie class. But I don't know, like yeah, I mean, look how closely Queen is pretty close to Flag on that list.
Yeah, yeah, very good. Doesn't make the first page of what we could see in there, but like not far off on the second page.
Yeah.
Even has more rebounds, so playing harder on the boards. Yeah. Anyways, this is kind of my season where I start getting back into NBA, and so
Yeah,
I
the
was just a bit
Thunder, I mean, I
surprised.
know they've lost a couple games recently, but I mean, they are once again just like overwhelming favorites to win. We're in January 9th and they're basically almost even odds to win the NBA finals, which is just truly insane.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously the Nuggets took a big hit with Jokic hyperextending his knee or whatever he did, but dude, Jokic is just so insane to watch. Somehow he's the best like he's ever been this season. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it's crazy. He just keeps getting better.
It's funny because I saw him in a highlight. I was like, is that Tyson Fury out there?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he still does not look like what you would imagine, but he just it's so fascinating to watch. Like, it's one of the most unique things to watch, I think, in sports the last like 10 years. The way that he just takes over games so nonchalant and like I said, I mean, he's getting older, but seemingly gets better every season. It's crazy.
Getting smarter, moves smoother.
Yeah, I mean, he was good when they won the finals, but their team is different now. But he is definitely better. Like this is the best version that we've seen from him. It's unfortunate though that he got hurt because I don't think he will be eligible for MVP now because of the amount of games that he'll miss. Because the NBA put in those parameters where you have to play a certain amount of games. So
Yeah.
I don't think he will be eligible anymore. So he's actually like not even on the betting board anymore. Yeah.
I thought they were discussing an exemption for injury. Did that?
Yeah, I did see some chatter about that, but I'm not sure because I know like
Okay.
that's affected Wembanyama in the past and stuff. But yeah, I don't even you can't even bet him right now. I see Shea is a big favorite at -450, and then you have Luka, Cade, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, I'm curious to see where he ranks on there because he's had a lot of hit has been offensive, but the Celtics are a team that with no Jason Tatum, like you really weren't expecting as much from them this season relative to what they've done in years past without their best player. But the Celtics have played fantastic. Jaylen Brown's been amazing. They're 23-13, third seed in the East, and they were, getting picked to miss the playoffs in some places prior to the season.
Yeah. Crazy. All righty. I was going to shift gears. Do you want to talk football now?
Yeah, with the playoffs this weekend, I would love to get some NFL thoughts from you. Your Bears are
My Bears.
your Bears gonna be in a tight one on Saturday night against the Packers. Looking like we could have a snow game there, which is always fun. I love when we get the snow in the playoff games.
When do they announce Coach of the Year? When do they announce my boy Ben Johnson as Coach of the Year?
Oh yeah, so that should be, when is that? Let's see. They do that. They do it at the ceremony now, where they used to just like put it out, but now it's like the Emmys, but for the NFL awards. Thursday
Well,
before the Super Bowl.
ah,
So
gotta
yeah,
wait.
I'm gonna do a TikTok of my picks to win each award, or I guess like who I think should. I'll do like who I think should win and who I think will win. There's
I
not a
think
high crossover, or there's not a huge difference there, but there are like a couple, I would say, probably a little bit different one.
I think if we go back to the expert futures pool, I think Ben Johnson's really the only thing that I have a chance to hit on
Yeah, well,
left.
you got screwed over by the Chiefs, man. I mean, the one year you get the Chiefs and they don't make the playoffs, like that, there's no way anybody thought that was even possible prior to the season. Not that they wouldn't win at all, but that they wouldn't make the playoffs is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they looked surprised too when it didn't happen.
It's also a stacked year for Coach of the Year, though, because of the Chiefs and the Ravens and these like high-powered teams that were supposed to be good coming into the season not being good. You have a lot of teams that weren't supposed to be good, very good, and that like completely muddies up the race, because I would say Ben Johnson is like a shoe-in any other year, but now you have like Vrabel completely turned the Patriots around, Ben Johnson turned the Bears around, Liam Cohen and the Jaguars are great. Even Mike
But no
McDonald, the
one was
Seahawks.
as bad as the Bears last year, though.
Yeah, I mean the Jags were not good.
But they were
The
better.
Patriots weren't good. I mean, they picked pretty high in the draft. Obviously, they had a quarterback in place, but the Seahawks, they missed the playoffs. Now they're like the 1 seed. Like, there's been a crazy turnaround for some of these teams this year.
It really has been, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the favorite. Well, even so, if we look at I know that you thrown this out on your TikTok, Jags over Bills.
Yeah.
I futures got KC happy, but really the team that I'm picking to win this year is the Bills.
It's now or never.
Really, really good them coming in the season. I felt really, really good throughout the season the way they were playing, and they found a way to lose some games. And statistically, if you compare their performance versus the Jags this year, the Jags are slight favorites and at home. So I'm a bit worried about my Bills.
Yeah, so we had this conversation on stream yesterday, but with all of the coaching chaos that's going on, with the Ravens firing John Harbaugh, is he going to go to a bad team, which is one of the open jobs? Is he going to go to a team that currently has a coach in place still that's still playing? Because I know the Bills have been floated there. I know that the Packers have been floated because LaFleur's not under contract past this season. So, we've had that conversation. Would the Bills move on from Sean McDermott if they go one and done in this year where the path is clear for them? No Chiefs, no Ravens, no Bengals. Like, it's a bunch of unproven teams. So if they can't get it done this year, would they move on from him? I don't know. I do think they would consider it.
I think that you can only there's something to be said about coaching consistency. You can build year after year, especially a sport as complex as football. But you've been there for a while, and you haven't been able to get there. I think this has to be the last chance.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's just doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like, you just, like, at some point you got to make a change. Like, they haven't been able to do it, and this is the best chance that they've ever had. I mean, they don't have any of those, perennial teams in front of them. Like, all of the rest of these teams in the AFC, because the Chiefs have been so good in recent years, like, these are all unproven teams. The Patriots have a young quarterback. They haven't won anything with their current team. The Jaguars have not won anything. I think Trevor Lawrence does have a playoff win, but they haven't won anything. The Chargers haven't won anything. And even the Broncos, who are the 1 seed, like, Sean Payton is very experienced, but none of the rest of their team is. So, I don't know. The Bills are the most experienced team in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I hope that bodes well for them.
I do like Josh Allen, so I would root for him. I do think he is deserving of.
Yeah, James Cook
Yeah, James
really
Cook,
good.
great season too. I mean, leading the league in rushing. It's basically been him and Josh Allen against everybody because they have no
Yeah.
receivers whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that it's funny. So from a sports betting perspective, as most of you know, I don't look for the value, and I use it as kind of my gut instincts as a data point, but I try to use the historical numbers more than anything, and just the nature of the way my brain works. So I picked the Jags. I bet against the Bills, but I'm hoping it's one of those hedge situations where, like, if the Jags win, okay, I'm happy. I want to bet. If the Bills win, I don't really care about the money because the Bills won. And I'm not a huge Bills fan. It's just that I
No,
don't know.
but
This is the
yeah,
year that I like them. I'm now a Browns fan, as we all know, but
yeah.
we'll talk about that
What?
later.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna go on over there. I will be honest there. Does anything else stick out to you from this first set of games here over the weekend?
Like I all year long, and this is probably a bias from watching the games. I just feel like the Chargers are better, and to know that that's the most lopsided game, and I think even odds wise, I think that's the most lopsided game. Um, the Rams being the away team,
Yeah.
like I guess it made sense to me. They lost those games, but I was kind of surprised. Uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the
there's just a few
unfortunate
little
part of
things.
the NFL. I don't understand the way the NFL operates because just because you win your division does not mean you should be able to host a playoff game, in my opinion, because you get these instances where, the Panthers are barely above 500, but because they played in a terrible division, they get to host a home game as opposed to the Rams, who are clearly like the better team and showcase that
Yeah,
throughout the season. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll look at changing that or not. But so like the Rams are minus 10.5 over the Panthers. The Bears and Packers, the Packers are slight favorites, minus 124 compared to plus 106. The Bills and Jags are like a dead pick 'em, minus 108 both sides on FanDuel. The Eagles are minus 5.5. The Patriots are minus 3.5. And the Texans are minus 3 in Pittsburgh. So I want to see what happens with the Bears and Packers game for sure. I mean, that's a divisional game, like third time they're playing this year. Those two teams hate each other. Could be a snow game. That should be really fun. I think the Chargers can upset the Patriots on Sunday night. I'm going to be looking for that as well.
that's what I mean. Like
There's a pretty big system too of first time quarterbacks in the playoffs going against quarterbacks that it's not their first time in the playoffs, and it's typically been rough for the first time playoff quarterbacks. And that's like including like Hall of Fame level quarterbacks. Like it's the playoffs are different than the regular season.
Yeah. Yeah, in a one game, take it all, win it all scenario, like you can't really make a lot of mistakes. You can't be nervous, and it doesn't matter how good you are. Your first time doing something can be a little nerve wracking.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that the public is like I'm looking at the kind of trends. Like I'm seeing the public side being the Jaguars. I'm surprised that the public is siding with the Jags over the Bills. Like that's surprising to me just because of the reputation that Josh Allen has.
Well, Bill's Mafia.
Yeah,
Like there's
that's pretty
Bill's
surprising to
mafioso
me.
all over the place.
That's pretty
Like
surprising to me.
I'll be walking through the mall here, and there's some guy in like leopard print Bill's paraphernalia.
Yeah, those pants. I know those pants. I know what you're talking about.
Like you shouldn't be wearing that on a Tuesday. Like, why aren't you at work?
They're crazy. They are crazy. I would love to go to a Bills game. That would be so fun.
I definitely that's on my list. There's a guy who used to play goalie for us. I don't know. He moved to Buffalo. I think he must have.
Oh, so is he just crazy Bills fan now?
And he posts all this stuff, and he's like one of those guys that loves not ridiculous face paint and stuff, but loves dressing up, getting the paraphernalia. And he posted something a while back on Facebook that he bought like a leather jacket off some guy at the Bills game, like paid him $300 for the local mechanics 1999 leather Bills jacket.
That like that whole like tailgating kind of culture is fascinating to me because I don't like I don't know, like what do those people do like during the week? Because they're waking up early on Sunday, like they've got the face paint on or whatever. They're going out in the cold, cooking all that food. Like I don't know,
And
like
that starts on Saturday. That starts the day
yeah,
before.
but like and then I guess it's like a communal thing, and then they pass that on to the younger generations. Like, is that like will that still be a thing as it is now in 20 years? I always like think about that because we like, could you imagine those like we get on a Rolling Insights call, and it's like
Yeah.
you like we know that Jeff is just like face painting it up on a Sunday and go like I know like what do those people do in their normal day to day lives?
I'm sure, like I'm trying to come to, I'm like, I gotta know somebody who's like that, who's just like a diehard crazy fan. No one's coming to mind. But yeah, like how do you go to work? And like what do you do for work? And like, oh, I got an extra ticket to the
Yeah,
game.
it's like fascinating.
Terry from work, you want to come with me to the game? Yeah, I'll come with you. And you show up, you pick up Terry from work, and he's like head to toe in purple, and he's glued Viking horns to the top of his bald head. Like that's crazy talk.
I just don't know if the younger generation will like
Okay, so
continue that.
I agree because they don't drink and they don't do things the same way that
Yeah.
the old boomers, the old even my generation. However, it's interesting to me, like if you go to Arizona Cardinals, like out in Glendale, and they have an area set up for it. It's very well organized. It's like it's not crazy, but there's like a real family culture, and there's kids running around catching footballs, and so I still think it's going to go on. I just don't think you're going to have, and maybe you do, because like some of the videos I see of people jumping through tables at Bills games, like those guys aren't very old.
Yeah, like I
So
said, I hope it stays alive because I think it's good for the sport. It's just I can't imagine like being one of those people, I guess. Like I think it's fun to go tailgate, but doing that the commitment that takes, especially if you like a bad team, like those people go out there in
yeah,
the cold. I
and
don't know. It's just crazy to me.
like the prep and the cost. So the other thing I never
Yeah.
quite, because being Canadian, like we don't do that in hockey. There's no tailgating going on. Um, you maybe have like a beer in the parking lot before you walk in. But so the first time I went, I was like, first time I went was in Seattle. And so it like wraps around, it's raining out. I'm like, brought my beers, and I'm like, so how does this work? Do I just like walk up to people and like they're cooking and then just start eating their sandwiches? Like, I don't understand how this works. And then I
Yeah,
get
does
to
anyone in
one
the
and they're like,
chat, can someone break that down cost wise? Do we have any tailgaters in the chat? I would love to know.
and then I got to one booth and they were like selling tickets. And I was like, well, why don't I just go have a sandwich at that guy's table? Like everyone just seems to be walking up and having a sandwich. Or maybe I was just everyone's like, there's this Canadian guy just walking up and eating Randy's sandwich. And
yeah. Trevor said let's talk Indiana, Oregon.
okay,
I mean,
we can switch. I'll turn this
like
off.
I don't
Get
have
torched.
like I don't have a pick. I don't know if you do, Steve. Like, I think Indiana will win, but I also think it's going to be a close game. I'm not betting anything. If I were, I would take Oregon to cover the spread. I think it's going to come down to the wire and be a close game. And also, I would say that's pretty firm reverse line movement towards the Oregon Ducks because there's just no way that Indiana's not the public side of this, and you're not even finding a 3.5 anymore. It's basically flat 3 everywhere except for FanDuel. So I don't know. I if I were betting, I would take Oregon to cover, but I think Indiana's going to win close. But I just don't have like a firm lean on anything there, to be honest. I think it's going to be a good game, and I'm excited to watch it. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
I think it's going to be Indiana. I for the first time this year saw them play in the quarters, and that Mendoza is cool as a cucumber out there.
Yeah.
And I was just shocked at how fast his feet were, how fast he moved the ball. Like, I think he's going to be tough to handle. And I thought maybe that the big moment would be a problem for him. And he came under a lot of pressure early. and then like played exceptional. So that I'm definitely going Indiana.
Yeah, that's also an underlying storyline to this game. I mean, we have potentially the number one versus number two pick squaring off in Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore. Whatever order they go in, I don't know. But I do think, assuming Dante Moore declares for the NFL draft, that there's a good chance these are the top two picks, especially considering the teams at the top, the Raiders and the Jets, are currently in search of franchise quarterback. So we kind of have a potential for number one versus number two pick squaring off tonight. I don't know. I just think it's going to be a close game, especially these teams have already played each other. I don't know. I don't have like a firm lean. If I were to look at like touchdowns, because we took Malachi Tony yesterday to score a touchdown, and he did. We took Charlie Becker to score in the
How
first
old
Indiana game.
is that Tony? Is he like 17 years old or something?
Yeah, he's 18. Yeah, he's a
crazy
true freshman. Very, very good. Very good player.
That's it's still 18 on January 9th. Like that, yeah. Is he like literally 18 on January 9th? Or is he like, is this his 18-year-old season?
No, he is like currently 18.
That is bananas.
You know what's he just turned 18 in September.
That is crazy to me. I have like goosebumps.
He was born September 17th, 2007. If you want to feel old,
and he probably has like 23-year-olds out there chasing him around.
Yeah, he does, definitely crazy, man. What a player.
That is so. When I don't know this.
Yeah.
When can he declare? Second year? He has to play 2 years of college?
Yeah, I think 2028 draft would be when he can come out.
Okay, so 3 years.
Yeah. So because Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State was the same thing where he was like 17, 18 last year. So he played last year, this year, and then he can play next year and then go to the draft. So
okay,
I believe it'll be the 28 draft for Malachi.
So you got to be 20 then to.
Yeah, or it comes down to like age or years like removed from high school when you played or something. I don't know what like the technicality is on that.
Okay. Like in hockey, it's 18. You can play professional hockey to 18.
Yeah, and then I think crazy. Like basketball, it's just like 1 year. Like you can go play and whatever, or 1 year of college, or you can go they try to do the G League like high school team thing. They try to do that, but I don't think it panned out.
Yeah. Well, basketball, you can be 18 too, as long as like you can come right out of high school as long as you're 18.
Yes.
Because that was Kobe, that was LeBron.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. I think Oregon plays it close. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Touchdown. I think Mendoza. There's some value on him. So when we took Charlie Becker in the last Indiana game, for whatever reason, they had him priced really bad. He was like over 2-1, despite how good he is. They nuked the wide receiver odds on the Hoosiers. They are all well below 2-1. So I don't really think there's any value there. Mendoza's like almost 3-1. I could see him scoring, scrambling, in the red zone or something.
Feet are good.
I'd take a shot on him potentially. Or Sadiq on Oregon, the tight end. You could talk me into him too. Very, very good talent. He's going to be like a top 20 pick in the NFL draft. Didn't have a great game the first time they played Indiana, so I'm sure that will be a big point of emphasis is trying to get him the ball tonight. So I would look at maybe those two. Should be a good game, though.
And for all you arbitrage bettors out there, you got a 1.67 synthetic hold on this game. That's pretty good if you're looking for arbitrage betting opportunities. And it hasn't moved since we've been on here. I don't know if you have it on pause or something, but
no, I think it does it live.
Yeah, it normally does. It's crazy that it hasn't moved because normally it's like you see those flashes for like 5 minutes and then someone figures out what's going on and moves the line.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know if that I don't know like how Polymarket would play into that though, because it's just different. Like people having to put that bet in, it's different than just firing up FanDuel or whatever and putting it in correct.
Like placing a prediction?
Yeah.
I think it's just like bets. It's just like it's like peer-to-peer essentially.
I don't think most people are tapped into it yet. Like, it's
No.
definitely popular. I think I saw, I don't think it was Polymark, I think it was Kalshi, but I think they took like almost 50 million in bets on the game last night, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Which I don't know. Were we talking about this? I can't remember. I just this conversations. I don't sleep enough. But I still don't really understand. Like, I know I get the difference between a prediction market and a sports book, but I don't really understand the difference. I don't really understand why peer-to-peer sport exchanges are considered gray area, yet you can have prediction markets running in all 50 states.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure it just comes down to, I don't know. Those laws are like so weird.
so I get it, because the whole idea behind the differentiating factor is betting against the house against betting against your peers. But that's a sport exchange, like sports betting exchange. Like, I bet
Yeah. Well,
on
even
Bet
like
Openly.
DraftKings is trying to get into the,
Yeah, they
like
just
the
released it.
prediction. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, they
and I
did.
wouldn't be shocked if they shut down their sports book and they go straight to peer to peer. Like, then
Mhm.
they don't have to limit people. They don't have to do any of that. Kick people off. Like, they don't care. Like, I'm sure, I don't know if everyone follows this, but before Maduro in Venezuela was captured, I'm sure everyone saw it. Someone put down a $32,000 prediction market and then made 400 grand off it, that the U.S. was going to take Venezuela. And so someone who was part of that operation, or saw that, like, worked at an airport where the call went out to clear the airspace, or saw the number of pizzas being ordered near the Pentagon, like, someone saw some direct or derivative information, and could constitute some investigation of insider trading. But in the prediction market, they don't care, because you're betting against somebody else, and that other person might
Yeah, like
have
they make
information as
money
well.
regardless of the outcome of anything. It's not
Yeah,
like,
because they're just
you
they're
know,
just taking
yeah.
a rake on it. It's like poker. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if DraftKings is like, we're going to move in that, because then they don't have any of the regulatory and compliance issues that they've got in other states, and they don't have to manage as much. It's way easier. Now, the difference is that it would be interesting to look at their financials, because it's harder to make more money if you're only taking a rake. If you can manage your risk accordingly, and have a much bigger vig, and you manage both sides, you can make more money on every game if you're a sports book. And that's what the bookies used to do back in the day. Now it's changed, because you have a screen like this where you can go and see competitive odds. And so if someone starts beating your odds, you kind of have to chase them. Otherwise, people are going to ultimately go to that sports book. So anyways, I'm probably a little bit too philosophical for this conversation, but I'm just very curious to see how this is all going to shake out, considering the difficulty sports books have today and the pressure they're under for limiting and kicking people and banning people off of their platforms.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely an interesting conversation. I know, like, I don't know. We'll have to see. I haven't seen anything about like FanDuel entering that. I don't know if they.
Well, they have to be.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
all
sure like
copying
the
each other.
point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just like when, I guess, not if.
It's funny, like when you and I go to the conferences, like, they're all talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
secrets.
we've got one of those coming up here in like a month. I told the chat like there's gonna be some in the life, day in the life content coming, some live content coming. We'll have Caleb with us. I know last year, dude, when I went to Vegas last year, I don't know. I think I won like $400 or $500. So
You
on
did?
sports
Yeah.
bets. So
I
see if
don't
we
think I
can run
placed
that back.
one bet last year when we
Yeah,
were there.
what? I don't know what was up with that either. We gotta get you.
Well,
We gotta get you in.
if I recall, there
But you
was
had like
no
flight
hockey.
issues also.
There was no hockey.
You got there
There's
super late.
It's 4 nations, so we didn't have any hockey that week while we were there.
Yes. There will be
And
no
then
hockey this year either because it's the Olympics.
and then there was college basketball,
Yeah.
which I know nothing about.
Yeah, we'll just get you in the we'll have to get like a group ride going. I'm gonna
Yeah,
make
I'll piggyback on somebody,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I will say, because we're collecting college basketball data, and for those that are building products out there, like college basketball is crazy, and like I don't know if anyone listened to the developer stream yesterday, but I have a bit of a theory that I think if you fast forward 10, 15 years from now, I think college sports are going to be as big as the NFL. Just because the demographic, there's so much school loyalty, large populations and alma maters have gone to those schools, and then you've got all these teams. And so, like, last night there was 40 college basketball games we were collecting, I think 50 maybe. There's just so much going on in college sports. I'm telling you guys, like, you don't know this already, but you guys obviously know this. So I am learning a little bit because we have to collect all those games, and you kind of see who wins and loses, and I don't really know any of the players until we get closer to March Madness and I start seeing more media and news on it. But maybe I'll be a little bit more informed this year when we're in Vegas. Otherwise, I'm happy to piggyback.
Yeah, we'll get some squad rides going. Dude, it is interesting because a lot of these like alumni like are willing to give their money to the schools. Like, I'm pretty surprised. Now, I'm talking like these people have more. They couldn't spend all this money the rest of their life. Like, they have, But I'm pretty surprised how willing they are to give, like, Indiana with Mark Cuban, and then we have other schools, with just people that are willing to kind of stake their NIL collective. But I could see, like, we've already started to see it. Like, it makes it a really interesting conversation because a lot of like the big time football players and basketball players are more willing to stay in school for an extra year than they would typically be willing to do. Like, we've seen that happen in basketball, and I believe we'll see it in football because let's take like Dante Moore, for example, with Oregon. He would make more playing quarterback for Oregon next year than he probably would for 3 of the 4 years of his rookie NFL contract combined. Unless maybe that's not the best example because he would go like top 2 or 3, but someone like Chambliss from Ole Miss or something that's probably like a later first round pick. Like, they're going to make more money in 1 year in college than they would like 3 in the NFL. So I do think they'll be more willing to stay an extra year of college football.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think it's only going to get bigger. Like, I used the example yesterday. This is years ago. It was Matt Stafford versus Colt Brennan. I think Colt Brennan, I'm probably getting the name wrong. Colt's his first name. He was the quarterback of Hawaii at the time, and he died in a car crash.
Yes.
So his family was staying in the hotel we were staying in. And then there was a whole bunch of Georgia Bulldogs there. And there was these, like, all weekend long, there was grown men wearing Georgia Bulldog pants.
The same style of Bills pants?
No, those are different ones. That guy who's wearing his zebra Bills pants shouldn't be leaving the house in them. These are like nice slacks.
Oh, with the logo like embroidered?
Yeah. It was like printed, but it's like repeatedly. God. I'm going to find these really quickly, and I'm going to show you what these Georgia Bulldog pants look like. Let's get some images up here. Let's see if we can. Here we are. This is not a great example. Let me find like a good. There we are. Okay, we're gonna just let me share my screen one time here.
It is fascinating to me.
This was cruising around.
I see.
On a Friday night at like Acme Oysters.
That is bad.
And so, like, this guy, and his wife, she's wearing similar ones.
Oh man.
They're pot.
Now, were they also wearing open-toed flip-flops, no socks? Was that also a thing?
No, they were wearing like nice. Let's see if I can find another.
That's what I thought. Okay, when you painted the picture, this is what I thought we were getting, but I didn't realize that the logo is like quite literally all over the pants.
Really worried that I'm gonna like accidentally.
I know. I was gonna say we may get like I don't know. We might get banned.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was all over the pants, though. I thought it was just like one.
Yeah, there's like tons of people wearing those exact pants.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And that guy, he is blindly following the Georgia Bulldogs for the rest of his life. If his Miami Dolphins start to, he's not putting on his Dolphins pants.
Is this the Bills pants that we're speaking of here?
Those are the ones. Yeah, those are the exact ones. And those normally don't leave someone's house. They don't normally make it out the front door.
These were really big. Like when I was in high school, they had them for like every team.
Let's see the Browns.
Do these people still? Dude, I had a pair of these in the Browns because one time my brother wore them to a Browns game, and some drunk lady. Now my brother's like 12 at this time. Some drunk lady got in a fight with him, accusing him of wearing Bengals pants to a Browns game because they're just designed, but they were very clearly Cleveland Browns pants. Yeah. Terrible.
Hey, just to grow up a Browns fan.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey, can we with 5 minutes left? Can we talk Shedeur Sanders and the Browns?
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if he'll be the quarterback next year. I don't know if they'll draft someone. I have no idea what they're doing. I could not tell you.
Like, had he played all the games, did they make the playoffs? And he had full camp and first team reps.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they would have made the playoffs, but
so I mean, they ended up. What did he? He went games. He went 2-5, right? He went 2-5, if I remember correctly. And 2 of the games they should have won.
Yeah, they were in a lot of games.
They missed a field goal, and then the other one where they didn't put him in, they gave it to Harold, and he botched it. Or no.
Judkins. Yeah, when they ran the 2-point conversion. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Because if they gave him the ball, they would have won. That's what I'm saying. So he would have been 4-3, and then you put him in for the rest of the games.
I mean, even go back to week 1, he wasn't playing, but it was Flacco at that point. But they missed a game-winning kick against the Bengals. Like, that's another win. I mean, 2 of those, that puts you at 7,
Yeah.
2 of those easily could have flipped. I don't think they would have made the playoffs, but I took them, the biggest bet I've ever made in my entire life, Steve, under 5.5 wins, and they finished with 5. So it did get a little sweaty there towards the end.
You were actually this whole time cheering against me. You're cheering.
I was, yeah. But I mean,
you're like, leave Gabriel in there. Leave him in there.
Yes, please. Keep playing Dylan Gabriel, please. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't. I mean, I think right now all roads lead to Deshaun Watson being their quarterback next year, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
Okay. So I went through that scenario in my head. Deshaun Watson trots out there. You got Shedeur as number 2. Watson hasn't played meaningful football in a year and a half. And even then it's really been years since he's played real football. So he gets out there. He sucks. He's terrible. They go to Shedeur after game 4. You got 14 weeks remaining. Do they make the playoffs?
Yeah, I just don't know. It's definitely worthy of that conversation, but just because we know that Watson's going to be on the team next year, and they don't have if they had the number 1 overall pick, Steve, they would draft a quarterback. I firmly believe that. If they had the number 2 pick, I think they'd take a quarterback. But they pick 6th. I think both of Dante Moore and Mendoza will not be there. So I don't see them drafting a quarterback particularly high. So I think the most likely scenario is they just come into next season with Watson, Sanders, and Gabriel as their 3 quarterbacks. And I think they start the season with Watson at quarterback. Maybe, over the course of time, they go back to Sanders then if they're out of the mix or something. But I just think that's probably most likely right now, which is weird. I honestly don't know, living in Northeast Ohio, I don't know how the fan base would receive Deshaun Watson trotting.
Well, that was going to be my final question here. So, one of the things that happens in the hockey market is you have to build a marketing plan around the players. And it's probably not as much of an issue in the NFL, but you have to. And for example, in Calgary now, they don't have that, and it's really hurting the franchise. because they don't have this like marketable guy that they can. If you look at Shadir Sanders, like I saw these things about the number of jerseys that have been sold with his, out more than anybody else. Like obviously the fan base likes him or likes the story or likes the way that he plays.
100%. I would say he is a fan favorite.
So you would think that there has to be some investment in that. The fans do have a vote, and the Browns have been terrible for probably your whole life.
Yes, most definitely.
You would think that at some point, like you just have to give the fans what they want.
One playoff win in my 30 years of existence. One playoff win and 2 playoff appearances. So, I mean,
yeah. Maybe just so beaten down, there's no hope. So just no.
Really there is no hope. But my like cousins and stuff that are younger that like the Browns, I try to tell them, I'm like, dude, the Browns will never be good. Like you just the quicker you accept that and just kind of move on, the better for your well-being, because they will never be good.
As a newly invested fan, I will not believe that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because like, how long is Myles Garrett going to hang around if like they don't get some offense? At least they had some offense at the end of the year that could hold on to the ball for a little bit. Like the other thing that's crazy too is if you look at even the play calling towards the end of the year, they were the defense was obviously trying to get him the sack record.
Yeah, that's all they cared about for the last like 4 weeks of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, so they were, letting the other teams essentially score and run at will. Maybe not score, but run at will. Like that would have changed things as well in favor of Shadir. Like they probably would have had, those 2 wins that were tight may not have been tight if they weren't trying to. They might have been too early, but obviously at the end of the year they were trying to chase that record.
Yeah, and definitely.
But I think that you would know better than me, but from what I can tell, Myles Garrett wants to stay there for now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think he ended up like he came around. Like obviously the massive contract helped out things, but I do think he came around. Yes, Mike, and that's why I root for the Eagles. So, well, Jalen Hurts is why I root for the Eagles, but I digress. I have no allegiance to the Cleveland Browns. But yeah,
all right. I guess it's just me.
Yeah, it's just Steve. Steve is the only resident Browns fan now.
Signing off.
I think Mitchell in chat, he likes the Browns because he's from here. So we have a couple other Browns fans too that tune in. But thank you guys for tuning in today. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. NFL stream. Make sure you guys are here for that. I will be live tomorrow at 11. Steve, have a good weekend. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's good. Yeah. We'll get into another rhythm. I think I'm going to be here next week. So
nice. Yeah. We'll bring some stuff to talk about next week too. We'll have like a week of the playoffs behind us and stuff. So
yeah. Cool. All right. Chat.
All right. Yep. We will I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Later, everybody.